Welcome to the Sisters Like Us podcast. I'm Laken.
And I'm Allie, and we're here to share our perspectives as sisters from two different generations.
So grab a glass of wine
or a bottle,
and let's dive in.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hello, welcome to episode 23 of the Sisters Like Us podcast. I thought it would be fun to do an episode on like Broadway and musicals. It is something that we're both into. I definitely feel like I am more into it than you are. But I thought it would just be fun to talk about like the history of when we became fans of Broadway. We both were involved in theater, which we touched on a little bit in the hobbies episode, but thought we could maybe be a little bit more specific about what shows we were in. And then we are going to go through, I made a list of Broadway shows and either say whether we've seen it, whether we want to see it or not. So, yeah. Do you remember ever being into Broadway before you like started doing theater?
I don't know, because like I started theater like fairly young, and
That's fair.
And I think I started theater because you did theater.
Yeah, I guess maybe I should start first then.
Yeah.
So I was a fan of Broadway when I was very young. My dad has always been a fan. He's the one that got me into it. And so when tours would come through San Antonio, if it was a kid-friendly show, he would take me. So the first show I ever saw was Beauty and the Beast, which we learned the other day at the Disney thing was actually their first, like Disney's first Broadway show was Beauty and the Beast. And that was the first show I ever saw. And my dad would take me. And then when he started dating my stepmom, she also loves Broadway. And she's from upstate New York. So they took me to New York City for my first time ever. And I saw my first actual show on Broadway when I was young up there, which was Footloose. That was the first show I saw on Broadway. And then I just have been into it ever since. I didn't start theater though until high school. I just had always done dance. That was my thing. I'd always done dance. And so my first show was when I was in high school. So I would have been 14. And so you would have been 5.
Yeah, and like when I was a part of the shows that you did in high school.
Yeah, so my high school, I guess, always did in the fall, and I think they still do this. The first show of the year is always a children's show. And they literally call it the children's show. So if you live in the Chicago suburbs, Neuqua Valley's first show of the year is always very kid-friendly. And one of the things that Neuqua would do is they would host a theater camp over the summer to raise money for their shows during the year. And the kids that were at the camp were invited to be in the show in the fall, in the children's show. So my freshman year, obviously we didn't know about that until afterwards. It was Peter Pan. But then my sophomore year, it was A Christmas Carol. And you were in that. And because you did the summer camp. So that was probably the first time you actually like got into it. Yeah. And then it was Cinderella. Right. And then it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. So then that probably is what kind of got me into theater. And then I did theater. I don't remember how old I was in my first show.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I was in Wizard of Oz. Like that was like my first show.
Yeah, and you did that like a community theater, not through a school.
Right. I did a lot of like big shows, but since it was like a community theater, you didn't audition. So I just would like always get a big part because like I was one of the like members or whatever.
Right. But they always did, I think, where you like switched roles too, right? So different people could be different parts?
Sometimes.
Okay. Because I feel like I remember you being in shows where like one night you would be one thing and the next night you would be something else.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of to think about.
In Aladdin, for example, and it's funny because I was always casted as male parts. And so in Aladdin, I was Jafar, which is like the evil guy. The villain. And then in another show I was Sultan, which is Jasmine's dad. I have a couple funny parts, and then like I also did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like at my theater, and I was Augustus Gloop, which I feel like is just like what started like it's just like you don't give like a teenage girl like Augustus Gloop, like that just like
may have scarred you a little bit.
Yeah, Cogsworth and Beauty and the Beast. So a lot of, you know, and then I peaked when I was Lucy in Charlie Brown. Like that was my peak for me.
I don't remember that at all. I must have already been at college at that point.
Because like all of the shows at our theater, like were never that great because like no one auditioned, so no one's singing was like, oh my god, this is insane. But playing the part of Lucy, like you're purposely supposed to sing bad, and so like I really thrived. Not that I'm like an awful singer.
No, you actually are a very good singer. I think you're a good singer. Don't look at me like that.
Like, good, like, average.
No, I think maybe like in the theater world you were considered average because everybody is decent, but in the like real world of normal people, I think you are a good singer.
Thank you.
So, she sang at a piano bar last night.
I did. There were like 6 people in the audience.
But Sam, my husband who sings, he says you have a good voice. So.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So you mostly did the community theater. Did you ever do shows in middle school or high school?
So in middle school, yes, but I was ensemble because again, like, I think you make a good point. Like, my voice wasn't good for like the theater world because like then I was like, oh,
I didn't get a lead.
I didn't get a lead this
What
time.
show did they do?
Oliver.
Oh.
So I was ensemble.
It's a fun ensemble though.
Yeah, it was fun. Good music. In high school, no, I didn't. And I only did Oliver in 6th grade. I didn't do, or maybe it was 8th grade. I don't remember. But I didn't do any of the other ones because I think I was still doing Kids Cab in middle school.
Yeah, no, I think you were. I was just curious if you did any at Crone.
They were putting on Shrek at, not at where I was going, but a different theater where you did have to audition, and I really wanted to do it, so I auditioned.
I did not know this.
And I sang for my audition Good Morning Baltimore because it's a great song and it like highlights like, you know.
Your range?
Yeah. So nervous that I sang the first verse twice.
I don't think that's that big of a deal, but.
But like, I don't know, it was so bad. And in a like 150 person play, including ensemble, I did not get a part.
150 people?
I swear to God. And then I still like, to make myself even more sad, I still went and saw it like when it came out. But like, that is what ended my theater career.
Oh, poor Allie.
Sad Allie.
Sad Allie. But then you found Frisbee in high school and
Yeah.
it was fine. Go back and listen to the hobbies episode if you want more on that. I mostly just did high school, and then I did one show at a community theater over a summer between junior and senior year of high school, which that show was ridiculous. It's not even on our list. It's called The Hot Mikado. The Mikado is a very famous opera. Somebody decided they needed to turn the Mikado into a jazz vibe. It was very weird. All right, before we get to the list of shows, off the top of your head, can you think of what, like, do you have a memory of your first show that you ever saw?
Yes, I think the first show that I ever saw was Les Mis.
Really? In Chicago?
No, it was at like it wasn't like on Broadway.
Was it the Nequa?
No,
Oh, okay.
it was at Paramount.
Oh, at Paramount. Okay.
Yeah. But you know, I could consider my first show like seeing like your shows.
No, I meant more of like a professional sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say Les Mis when I went
at the Paramount.
My dad, yeah.
Which is a regional theater here in Chicago. It's out in the suburbs, but they put on fantastic performances. I've seen multiple things there. It's great.
I've also seen, so like some of the early shows, like I also saw Shrek there, which was so good.
Shrek. I've actually never seen a stage performance of it. I've only ever listened to the soundtrack.
Oh, it's so, I loved Shrek.
Okay, let's get into the list then. So basically what I did was I Googled like list of all Broadway shows, which is a giant list. Mm-hmm. And I whittled it down to 100, which was actually kind of hard. And so we're just going to go through them and acknowledge these are either, for me, it's either a show I've seen or I want to see. So, and again, even it was hard to whittle it down to 100. But
so for me, we'll determine which ones I've seen, which ones I haven't seen, and which ones I
you haven't even heard of.
But also which ones that you think I need to see.
Yes. Oh, yes, for sure. Okay. And they're in alphabetical order. So it's not in no particular order. So the first one is Aida. You've never heard of it. You probably don't remember. My senior year of high school, I was in Orchesis, which is the dance company. And we choreographed a piece to My Strongest Suit. It was a tap dance. That song is from Aida. I've never seen it, but I want to see it. Aladdin. No. I mean, you were in it, but
I was in Aladdin, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it is more recent. It was while I was living in New York, so I have seen it. It's great.
Yeah,
obviously.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. American Idiot. Mm-hmm. So, Green Day, the band, it's all their music. I also never seen it. It's one of Sam's favorites. Yeah. An American in Paris. Mm-mm. Have you heard of it? Mm-mm. It's ballet focused. I have seen that. Sam used to work for the producer who produced An American in Paris when it was revived. Anastasia. But want to, right? Do you like the movie Anastasia? Do you even... When was the last time you saw the movie Anastasia?
I don't know if I have. I don't even know the story.
Oh, so good. Oh, the music is
I'm going to disappoint her.
Yeah, wow. That may happen. Annie. I've actually never seen Annie, like a stage performance of it. I've only seen the movie.
I would
Have you seen the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Avenue Q. Have you heard of it?
Kind of.
Okay. Mom took me to see Avenue Q in New York. It's maybe my 16th birthday we went to New York. It is raunchy. I don't even want to like say any of the titles of the songs because it's that raunchy, and it's puppets. But it's good. It's great. You won lots of awards. Beauty and the Beast, which we talked about. Billy Elliot. That's actually at the Paramount right now. And Sam and I were talking about how we should drive out there and go see it. I saw it in London, so technically not on Broadway. I saw it on the West End. The Book of Mormon.
Heard of it, never seen it.
Oh, so good. And so funny. Like, also raunchy, but also hilarious. Cabaret, I have not seen, but it's on my list. Cats. I love Cats. Yeah, I have a poster of Cats in my office. Have I ever, not the most recent movie, but the original movie. Okay.
I knew we had it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, we had it on VHS. I watched it a lot. They redid it recently. It's very bad. There's a show called Chess, which I've never seen, but I want to see. Have you ever heard the song One Night in Bangkok? One Night in Bangkok. Okay, it's from that show. Chicago.
I've never seen Chicago.
It's good.
Which is really
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like it never comes here.
I know some of the songs from Chicago.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Wow, this is going to be a long list. I definitely would have thought you would have seen more of these movies. A Chorus Line. That's the other poster behind the Cats one that you can see. Cinderella. Aww. Yeah. The Color Purple.
Heard of it.
Sam and I went to...
Wait, that's a movie.
It just came out. I haven't seen it yet. Yes. It just came out in movie form. It's one of those where it's one of those stories like Hairspray, which is on the list eventually, which it was a movie, like a regular non-musical movie that they turned into a musical that now they have turned back into a movie version of the musical.
Got it.
So I want to watch the movie. I haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
Sam and I tried to get tickets to it like the day of one time in New York and we're unsuccessful. Come From Away. It's a story about 9/11 and it's very like folky music. It's very good. Company.
Never heard of it. I realize people who are watching can see me shake my head, but I need to like actually say no.
Or if she's not responding, the answer is she's never heard of it.
The answer is no.
I love Company. Stephen Sondheim. It's amazing. So good. Crazy for You. You have seen because I did it my senior year of high school. It's a tap dancing show. Oh, so fun fact, I did senior year of high school. Sam did when he was in 8th grade.
Aww.
Yeah, so we love Crazy for You in this house. Damn Yankees. I haven't seen it, but I want to.
I've never
it's what Niqua did the year before I got there. Dear Evan Hansen.
Heard of it.
Also fantastic. Saw it on Broadway. And they also turned it into a movie.
Was Ben Platt on Broadway? You saw Ben Platt?
I did see Ben Platt.
I would die.
Yeah, I did see Ben Platt. Dreamgirls.
Heard of it.
You need to see that movie. I think when I made this list, I was expecting you to say like, I haven't seen the Broadway show, but I've seen the movie.
Sorry.
We need to clearly have a day where Allie watches all these shows. Evita. I haven't seen it, but I would like to. Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That one, it's a Jewish story. I saw it off Broadway in Yiddish with it was cool. They had the English translation on the sides, like projected on. Footloose.
I've seen both the movies of Footloose.
Both the movies.
I love Footloose. I would love to see that.
They haven't brought it back. I mean, I saw it. It was the first show I ever saw
they should
on
bring
Broadway.
It back. What a great...
They 100% should bring that as a revival. One time, Sam and I think it was like on a road trip. My husband is also a huge Broadway fan. We were going through like shows they should bring back as revivals. Like it's time. Like it's been long enough and it's a good show. It's like time to do a revival of it. Yeah. And Footloose was definitely on that list. So was 42nd Street, which is easily one of my top 3 musicals. It is a tap dancing show. I love it so much. I saw it twice in New York.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Frozen.
Frozen. We did see Frozen. I loved Frozen.
It's so good.
I love the little changes like that they made. It
Yes.
was so good. I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I think it's back on tour.
Hits so different. Like I almost cried.
Oh yeah. And when it was in Chicago, Sam and I got Allie a ticket for her graduation present.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing.
So good.
It was so great. Yeah.
Love Frozen. Sam and I saw it here in Chicago with Allie and Mom, but we also saw it in New York. Fortunately, when we saw it in New York, there was a little girl sitting behind us who was singing along. And I understand when you go see shows that are kid-friendly, Disney type shows, the audience is going to be younger, and you might have to deal with some chitter-chatter or less than ideal theater etiquette.
Mm-hmm. I just remember you saying that.
But I cannot fathom, the little girl singing along and the parent not stopping them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe when my little girl is that old, I won't be able to stop her. But I can't imagine. You pay so much money for those tickets. I would feel terrible. Funny Girl?
Funny Girl.
I haven't seen it. It's the show that Leah Michelle was in on Broadway.
Yeah, which is so full circle if you've seen Glee.
Oh, Glee. Grease? I've actually never seen a stage production of it. I've only ever seen the movie.
Have I? I know that Kids Cab, the community theater that I was at, they did it, and I think I went back and saw it because it was older. I don't remember though.
That's also one of those shows Mom and I Googled recently that the debate was it a musical before it was a movie or was it a movie before it was a musical? And it was actually a musical first.
Yeah.
Which I would not have put money on that. Guys and Dolls, which I also did in high school, so you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Hair, the musical.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I want to. Hairspray. I've actually never also seen a stage.
I have seen a stage production of Hairspray. You know what it was? And actually, let's go all the way back to the top of the list. I've seen Aladdin on stage.
Oh.
There was this community theater program in the suburbs, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was called.
Was it the one that Anthony was in? That they actually did good things.
Yes. And I saw Aladdin and Hairspray.
Okay.
Yes.
Hamilton.
So, no, I've never seen Hamilton. I've also not watched it on Disney+. I just, have this inkling I'm not going to like it. And because I'm not a big, I'm not saying you have to be a history person to like it.
Yeah.
But, I haven't, if I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it on stage.
That's fair. That is fair, and it was here for 5 months, and maybe we should have done a harder job at getting you to go see it while it was here.
Because something about me is let me preface, as we're going through all of these things, clearly I haven't seen a lot of these, but I love theater.
And I don't know if it's because I lived in New York for 10 years that I've seen so many of these shows. I mean, that's definitely part of it, because I'm married to somebody who's also really into these, so we prioritize that for date night a lot. I mean, we have our whole relationship.
I just love me a show.
Yeah, me too.
That's
true. Have you heard of Hedwig and the Angry Inch?
Nope.
Neil Patrick Harris was in the original cast, and I have never seen it and would love them to bring that back. Thanks. Hello, Dolly. I haven't seen it. Sam went and saw it with his mom. How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I haven't seen that either, but it was Daniel Radcliffe was the original. Not the original, in the revival. But have you heard of If Then? So that I have seen. It was a show that basically was written for Idina Menzel. It was after Rent, after Wicked, and she was the star. Not that she wasn't the star in Wicked, but you know what I mean. And it was beautiful. In the Heights.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the movie.
You have? Did you like it?
I did.
Okay. I think if you liked In the Heights, I think you will like Hamilton. Yes, it is history as opposed to In the Heights. Because
I watched it on a plane.
Oh, I love In the Heights. I've never seen a stage production of it, but I've only seen the movie. But I love the music, and I think they did a great job with the movie. In Transit was an a cappella Broadway show that we saw, Into the Woods?
Into the Woods. No, but I've obviously seen the movie.
See, you say obviously, but I would have thought some of these others were obvious.
It's Disney. Maybe because, it's just more, that, it was more intriguing to me because it was kind of all of the fairy tales.
Yeah. And that's different. Hamilton on Disney Plus is a recorded version of the stage production. Into the Woods is the movie. And same with In the Heights. They did
that movie got so much hate.
Into the Woods? Really?
The reviews are awful.
Oh. Well, that's
Emily Blunt, you did a great job.
Yeah, Meryl Streep crushed it.
Yeah,
James Corden, and that cast is stacked.
It was stacked.
And then Sam and I saw the most recent revival of it that was nominated for a bunch of stuff, and it was also great.
And the little boy in it is the little boy from Les Mis. The movie. Les Mis movie is
also good.
So
well,
good.
yeah. Jekyll and Hyde.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I saw that with my dad and Sue a long time ago. Jersey Boys.
I've heard of it.
Oh, so good. I saw it in high school. Mom, so you know how in high school, the seniors are done with class, like before everybody else? Like they're done with school before, because they don't take finals or whatever. So my junior year, a bunch of the seniors were already done with school, and so they were going downtown to see Jersey Boys, and they invited all the juniors, but we had to skip school in order to go, and most parents, of course, were like, of course not, you're not skipping school to go to the city to see a show, and Mom was like, sure, as long as you keep your grades up, like, go for it, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I saw Jersey Boys. Jesus Christ Superstar. I've never seen it, but want to. You've never even heard of it? Okay.
No.
It's exactly what you think it is. There's also a movie. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I thought that was next. I've seen that.
Go,
I've
Joseph.
seen that on stage.
Sam just sang that to Lila the other day.
They did it in middle school, at my middle school, so they did that.
They did it when I was there. So they brought it back 10 years later?
Or did I watch, or did I see? No, because I wouldn't have.
You would not remember that. Because they did it when my first year at Chrome.
Yeah, they did it.
10 years later.
I remember watching it and being like,
Chrome.
what the heck is this?
Pick some new shows, man.
It was not a vibe. I'm not gonna lie, I did not enjoy it.
The King and I? Oh, so good. I saw that with my dad. Kinky Boots.
Heard of it?
Oh, I love Kinky Boots. I saw it multiple times in New York, and then I saw it again in London. So good. Like, it was so good. Kiss Me Kate. That Sam and I saw the revival of in New York, and fun fact, a girl that he did shows with growing up was in Kiss Me Kate. And she was like not Kate, but she was the next female lead. And that's the only time we've been backstage to multiple shows. It's the only time I've gotten to go into a dressing room. It was so cool. It was so
that is cool.
Yeah. This is definitely taking longer than I thought it would. I kind of thought we would like zip through these. Legally Blonde.
Would die to see that.
Have you listened to the music?
Yeah, I know the music.
So good.
Or not like know it,
but Les Mis.
So good.
So good. I took Mom to see it actually on Broadway when she came to visit when it was on Broadway in New York.
Yeah.
The Lion King. Ever seen that?
I've slept through it.
What?
When I was little. I've never liked Lion King in any capacity, so.
Yeah, that I might have to disown you for.
Yeah,
it is,
I do get a lot of hate for that, but like I just don't like it.
The Little Mermaid, which we saw. Did you go with us to the Paramount? We saw it when Anthony was in it?
Yes.
Okay. I know that Sam and Dondre were there. I couldn't remember if you were there.
I think so.
Okay.
Wait.
This was
How old would I have been?
I mean, Sam was there, so this was within the last 7 years.
Then no.
Okay. Unfortunately, The Little Mermaid as a Broadway show kind of flopped. Like from a Disney standpoint, it didn't do as well as the other ones. Little Shop of Horrors.
No, but
so fun.
That would be fun.
Sam and I saw it like recently before we left. Mamma Mia. You've never seen it.
I know, and I want to see it so bad because it's here.
I'm taking Mom. Don't give me that look, Allie. So Sam and I have season tickets.
I know.
And so I'm taking Mom. Mary Poppins. Oh, you can't see the face she's making.
I don't like that movie.
Oh.
Not a fan.
Matilda.
No, but that would be fun to see.
Yeah, and they did it in movie version. I haven't watched it yet. Like, not the original movie. She's giving me this face like, of course it's a movie. No, the musical. They did a movie version of the musical.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet though.
I saw the girl that like was Matilda like on TikTok or something.
Yeah, well there was a song from TikTok from Matilda that was trending on TikTok for a long time. Merrily We Roll Along. This is like the one show that's on our list to see when we're there in May, because Daniel Radcliffe is in it, and that's like I don't think it will tour, and if it does, it won't be Daniel Radcliffe. The Music Man. Nope. No. My Fair Lady. Newsies.
Heard of it.
There's also a movie that's good. Next to Normal. That's one of Sam's favorite. I've never seen it. Nice Work If You Can Get It.
Nope.
Oklahoma.
Heard of it.
It's won a bunch of stuff. I've never seen any of these. Oliver. We kind of talked about this already. I've actually never seen a stage production of Oliver. I've only seen the movie.
That's cute.
On Your Feet, which is here next week, and Sam was like, let's go. I'm like, it's here for 5 days and we don't have time. Once on This Island. I haven't seen that, but want to. Once, the musical. That's one that was like a movie that they then turned into a musical. I've seen it. It's beautiful music if you've never listened to it. Parade. So we saw that in New York, speaking of Ben Platt. We were originally, so to rewind slightly, we moved basically 1 year ago right now. We moved on March 1st. And we had already had plans to come back in May to see the dance show, the Dance Work show. And so we bought tickets to Parade for that weekend. And we got an email like 2 weeks before we left New York that said, letting you know that Ben Platt will not be performing in those weekend's performances. He was getting married, turns out. So if you'd like a refund, you can have a refund or you can move your tickets to a different day. And it was opening like the week before we left. So we switched our tickets to the week before we left so that we could see Ben Platt in Parade. It was amazing. Peter Pan.
No, but I would love to see Peter Pan.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Phantom of the Opera, classic. You probably wouldn't enjoy that one anyway. It's like very classic Broadway. Pippin, I've never seen that, but want to. The Producers,
nope.
Also very historical Broadway. Rent.
I've seen Rent.
On stage?
At Kids Gabia.
Oh, okay.
I saw it.
That's not a very kid-friendly show.
It was, so like everything was always separated by age. So there was like the older
group.
It's like if theater had like a JV and a varsity. And when I did, I don't know if you put Spamalot on the list, but
I think I took it off.
Oh, well, I was in Spamalot.
I did not know that, and I didn't think you would have heard of that, so I took it off. And I don't want to see it.
Yeah, no, it's an awful show.
Okay, so I saw Rent. It was on tour, and it was coming close-ish to New York, but not to New York. And when you live in the city without a car, like getting to a place 2 hours outside the city is actually a pain in the butt. So I actually flew, and a friend of mine from Michigan also met me there. We flew to Raleigh, North Carolina for the weekend to go see Rent on tour.
I would so see Rent.
Yeah, it was so good. The next one's Rock of Ages.
Yeah.
We just saw that last summer, like in a regional theater here in Chicago.
Yeah, Rock of Ages is like actually has always been one of my favorite movies ever.
I love it. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Also, that cast is also stacked.
Oh my gosh, yeah. School of Rock.
I was in that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
I was in School of Rock. Obviously, School of Rock is like pretty much just like you're an ensemble. It's like what like songs you're in.
Right.
And so the more songs you were in, the like is more.
Yeah, the better you were, whatever.
But I was in one of the shows, one of the contestants, and I was the old whippersnapper.
Okay.
So I was like the old man. I was like with a cane and like.
That's the first Broadway show Sam and I ever saw together.
Yeah, it's cute. I like Schoolhouse Rock. Wait,
School of Rock. That's what you meant. No, you meant Schoolhouse Rock.
I thought you said Schoolhouse Rock.
No, that's like School of Rock. Seussical.
I was in that too.
Yeah, so cute.
What was I? Oh, I was Gertrude.
Gertrude McFuzz. She Loves Me. That's on my list. I want to see it. I haven't seen it. Shrek. Oh,
Shrek.
I love Shrek. Shuffle Along. I have to include all the tap shows. Also, I've seen Shuffle Along. Sam and I saw it. Sister Act. I have only seen the movie.
Yeah,
it's a movie. Smokey Joe's Cafe. I left on the list because I've seen it. I figured you hadn't heard of it. Something Rotten. I would love to see that. The Sound of Music. I have never seen a stage production of The Sound of Music, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Y'all.
Spider-Man?
Yes, it was bad. I'm sorry, it was bad. I took Colton when I lived in New York, and they came to visit, and it was bad. It was not good. Spring Awakening.
Oh, heard of it.
Oh, Leah Michelle is in the original Broadway cast, and Jonathan Groff. They're like the leads.
Mama.
Yes.
The only reason I know that is if you've seen the most recent 90210. That's like the show that they do in the beginning of the first season.
I've never seen it, but I love the music. Starlight Express, which I left on here only because that's on Sam and I's list of like revival. Like I think it actually is being revived in London. Sweet Charity. Sweeney Todd. Oh, so good. Not your thing? Or you just haven't seen it?
I just haven't seen it.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
You like horror movies, actually, so I don't know why I said not your thing. You like horror movies. Okay, you need to see the movie, the musical. It's Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter. Tarzan, I've never seen it either. I actually didn't even know it was a musical until I was working on this prep.
Yeah.
Thoroughly Modern Millie, I also have never seen it. Tick, Tick, Boom.
Heard of it.
Have you heard of Tick, Tick, Boom?
Mm-mm.
Watch the movie. It's the story of the guy who wrote Rent, and then he died very young. But his first show was Tick, Tick, Boom. Highly recommend. So good. The Who's Tommy, it's one of Sam's favorites. 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
I was in that.
I love a spelling bee.
Oh, that was my first show.
Really?
Yes.
You're not convinced?
I'm not convinced. I can't decide. I can't determine if it was Wizard of Oz or, honestly, my dad would know because he, like...
Oh, what a good dad.
Yeah. That I auditioned for. So I did audition for something. I got a part. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, the way they did it at Kids Cab, which I didn't mention, was we all would go for, like, right when the practices started, rehearsals, whatever. We'd sit in a circle and, like, go through, and everybody would sing the song, and our owner / director would walk in the center and, like, just, like, slowly listen in. And so for Spamalot, like Lady of the Lake, like I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go for it because it's like a really high note. And she was like, who was that? And I was like, it was me. And then she's like, done.
Wow.
So
it's a really interesting like audition process.
Yeah. But it wasn't that. I was the Olive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I saw that here. You're in Town? Remember? Oh, that's like one of Sam's favorites. He would love to see that. Waitress. I haven't seen it, but would love to. Sarah Bareilles. West Side Story.
Oh no, but I loved that movie.
I know, and the new one is so good. The new one is so good. I've never seen a stage production of it.
I hate him, but it's fine.
Wicked.
Yep, that was my first show, like officially on Broadway in New York.
The Wiz.
I've heard of it, but no.
You have, and I was there.
Oh.
You, me, and Mom went and saw The Wiz here in Chicago. Not on Broadway. It was like at a small theater in Chicago here, and we took you.
Cool.
It was that was my 16th birthday. So I don't know what Avenue Q maybe was 18. So it was my 16th birthday. So you would have been 7. You have seen it. And now it is back on tour. Or not on tour, it's going to Broadway. We saw it here in Chicago as like a preview. Highly, highly recommend. And then You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Lucy.
I was Lucy.
Lucy. I've actually never seen it.
I think there's a lot of anxiety. Like, it's just like, theater's scary. Like,
it is.
You
it
put
is
yourself
scary.
in like such a vulnerable spot. And like, I remember like we were in the audition, or not the audition room, but the black room, the black box.
The black box.
We had one of those at our theater too. And I was like, I'm just gonna go for this. And I like did it, and then, you know, I was like purposely saying really awful. And they were like, oh my gosh, that was just amazing. I do miss like the attention, like just like it's like a high.
Yeah, oh it is. I mean, I love being on stage. That for sure is something I miss a lot, but I listen to a lot of show tunes. We have this whole Broadway playlist that we have that has like 1 to 2 songs from every show that we love.
In any show that you did you ever forget a line or anything?
I'm sure, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
So in a different show, so yeah, you're right. At the theater that I was at, it was either you were typically everyone was always ensemble at one point.
Right.
And I was like one of the knights in Spamalot, one of the knights. Pun intended. And I remember I had a little spot where I was supposed to sing, and I literally had to hum because I couldn't remember what I was saying.
Oops.
Yeah.
That does seem to be a con of like having people be more than one part.
And to be fair, like I think we only did 2 shows a year, right? So we had a really long time to learn.
Oh, that's
everything. Fair. Yeah, we also, one of the shows that we did, which I kind of don't even say is a show I did because it's never been done anywhere, is Laugh Back to the 60s. I think the place I went like created it.
Oh.
And it essentially was just like a ton of songs from the 60s, and it was just, there was no really story. So like the song, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like I put on my makeup.
Oh.
Like that song. That was my solo.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, and it's still on the Kids Guide website.
That song makes me think of Glee.
Yeah.
Well, this episode actually ended up being longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Your drink is gone. Mine is
drink
getting
is
there.
gone.
So we should wrap this up. Let us know in the comments. Are you a Broadway fan? If so, what is your favorite show? If it wasn't clear, I tried to make it clear while we were talking. I don't think I said it about Rent though. My top 3 for sure are Rent, Les Mis, and 42nd Street.
Mine are...
Or even just like your number 1? Rock of Ages, probably.
Well, no. On stage,
Okay.
Wicked's like
Yeah.
probably my favorite, but it was probably the best talent I've ever seen. So if not Wicked, I would say Frozen was my favorite on stage. But Frozen's also my favorite, like everything. So
That's true.
Frozen equals my life.
If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you are on a podcast platform, please rate and review us, and we'll see you next week. Cheers. Bye.